The majority of the Arctic region's resources are not currently being used by people. In order to better understand the Arctic region, several nations have continued to have a keen interest in it and have sent numerous scientific research trips there. Also, a deal for the use of an island has been inked with China. The Little Barrier Islands are located more than 7,300 kilometers from China. There are 62,000 square kilometers of islands in the total archipelago. How crucial is this island to China then? What relevance does it have in terms of strategy? Keep watching. Before we go on, subscribe to Cha News to watch about the most amazing world projects. Ready? Let's go on. The majority of the Little Bar Islands are made up of 4 sizable islands, including Spitz, Bergen, Northeast, Agi, and Barents, where glaciers cover more than 60% of the surface. The majority of the time on the island is either polar day or polar night because the archipelago is situated within the Arctic Circle. The climate of the archipelago is around 20 degrees Celsius warmer than that of other Arctic locations. Nevertheless, as a result of the effect of the North Atlantic warm current, the majority of the islands in the archipelago are now uninhabited, and it is the closest inhabited region to the Arctic. This archipelago has abundant reserves of coal, iron ore, oil, and natural gas that date back to the 12th century, according to a study of scientists. Norwegian sailors were the ones who initially found the Little Bar, but due to the extreme cold and remoteness of the area, hardly any people are ready to make this their permanent home. Yet, European nations like the Netherlands and the United Kingdom came here to fish up to the start of the 20th century because of the excellent fisheries resources of this island in the 17th century. As a result of the discovery of mineral resources like coal, numerous European nations started vying for this land up to the end of World War I. The Svalbard Treaty was signed by several nations in order to develop the islands peacefully, as stipulated in the treaty. Norway is the rightful owner of the Svalbard Islands' sovereignty. Moreover, a total of 18 nations, including the United Kingdom, the United States, China, and other nations, are permitted to utilize Svalbard. Hence, as one of the signatory nations, China. In this archipelago, everyone who complies with Norwegian legislation is allowed to travel without restriction. Since the Svalbard Treaty was signed, more than 50 nations and regions have visited the archipelago. China has steadily been more interested in using the Svalbard Islands in recent years since the archipelago is rich in minerals, oil, and natural gas, and China's industrial sector requires a significant quantity of inexpensive imported energy sources. Energy sources like this are crucial to China's development. Since China continues to work with international enterprises in joint mining, it is only inevitable that China will invest in the archipelago. For the more than 3,000 inhabitants of the archipelago, China, Norway, and Russia have all reaped considerable rewards. The island's economy is based mostly on mining, but as this sector has grown, the world has come to understand how crucial environmental preservation is in this archipelago. Given that China is the most populous and fastest-growing developing nation in the Northern Hemisphere, the implications of climate change in the Arctic region on China are of the utmost significance. As a consequence of this, the scientific investigation that China is conducting in the Arctic region is essential to the future of the country. The Chinese government has slowly started conducting scientific research and inspections in the Arctic. The Small Bar Islands are home to a population, and they are one of the populated areas that are located closest to the Arctic. In addition to beginning investments in the teeny-tiny Bar Islands, China has established Yellow River Station, which serves as China's Arctic Scientific Research Station. It is possible that the Chinese expedition crew may stop here, in this isolated spot, to resupply and take some time off. The Chinese expedition crew is able to concentrate on the scientific duties of the Arctic voyage since they are not being interrupted by the outside world. The utilization of the Little Bar Islands by China is analogous to the construction of an Arctic space station by China somewhere in the Arctic. Longer-term Arctic research projects may be carried out by the Chinese expedition team, which will benefit the advancement of Chinese scientific research. Most of the time, the northern lights may be clearly seen on the islands since the archipelago is always in a condition of polar day or night. Via the investigation of the northern lights phenomena, the Chinese expedition team conducted 12 scientific studies on the northern lights phenomenon in the Tiny Bar Islands. Chinese researchers are exploring using the strong current produced by the northern lights and have a rudimentary knowledge of the collisions between sun electrons and atmospheric atoms. Today's scientific community is still focused on finding ways to utilize the aurora's energy more effectively. In order to fully use the archipelago, the Northern Lights phenomena has also improved this island's tourism infrastructure. China and Norway are now contributing financially to the island's tourism industry. The mining industry on China's islands might be replaced with the tourist industry as part of an effort to improve the state of the archipelago's ecology, as well as to forestall food shortages that could be triggered by changes in the local environment. China, Norway, and a number of other countries participated in the establishment of a seed bank for plants that is now known as the Svalbard Global Seed Bank. Because of the expenditure of $3 million in this program, more than 4.5 million plant seeds of human crops have been preserved at this location. At this same moment in time, the Svalbard Global Seed Bank is the plant seed bank that has the title of being the largest in the entire globe. In the tundra of the Svalbard Islands, which are located in the Arctic Ocean and have a polar marine environment, engineers established the seed bank under the bottom of rocky caves. The thickness of walls constructed out of concrete is 1 meter. Because of this, the interior of the seed bank could be able to keep a low temperature without requiring any more energy. In addition, the entry to the seed vault features a robust bulletproof door and 2 air valves as part of its comprehensive security system. Even if Greenland's glaciers melt in the future, the seed bank can still be stored at a low temperature to preserve its contents. These plant seeds ensure a diverse range of human harvests, which is critical to the continuation of human development. The Svalbard Islands are the only area in the Arctic that has been designated as both a free economic zone and a demilitarized zone, as stipulated by the Svalbard Treaty. No military presence has been established by any nation on the Little Barrier Islands. Yet, if there were to be a third global war, I have no doubt that China would also deploy some of its military personnel to the Svalbard Islands in order to fulfill its responsibility to protect its people. Hence, when the fight breaks out, I believe that other nations would follow China's lead as the leader in the conflict. Also, the states that make up NATO were not very distant from this archipelago, so the potential military value that the island may hold for China is of comparable importance. The weather and environment in the region, known as the Arctic, have a large and ongoing effect on the rest of the world. The nations of the globe are focusing a lot of attention on keeping track of the latest happenings in the Arctic area. China is unable to disregard the significance of the Small Barrier Islands because of their role as the international boundary for Arctic research. China is going to come up with a practical plan for the archipelago's future growth and figure out a way to make good use of the smaller barrier islands as they are developed. At the same time, China is working along with the rest of the world to preserve the natural ecology that is found on the tiny barrier islands. Click on these video to watch about the most shocking China's project.